You ever feel like you shoot first but can't win a gunfight in Black Ops 7, or you shoot someone with like 100 bullets and they end up dropping you in what feels like just 2? Well guys, you've come to the right video, because today we're going to be looking at some awesome tips to help you guys get less of those situations and win more of your gunfights, but we're also going to go into some insane settings to help you guys win a lot more of those gunfights as well. A lot of it has to do with your aiming, and a lot of it has to do with graphics as well. So when we get into that, you guys will see exactly what I'm talking about. But the first thing I want to talk about, when you're playing this game, guys, you do not want to rush like a headless chicken, and I feel like I gotta talk about this right away because I'm talking about people who play this game. When I play with like randoms and stuff, they're always doing something that's not working out for the team, and one of them is literally pushing the enemy spawn when you're not supposed to. And I don't get why people do that. I don't understand it. When you push the enemy spawn, you flip the spawn system, and then the enemy starts spawning behind you, and then it messes everything up and you end up dropping and dying. So make sure that you're not flipping those spawns, guys. Let the enemies come to you. This is something that you I don't know what I was saying. This is something that you definitely want to do at all times, and this means you could hold some head glitches, let the enemies push you. They're gonna have a hard time getting you off those head glitches. You just don't push the enemy spawn, all right? Don't be one of those guys. Let the enemies come to you, play nice and slow, and you will drop a lot of people rather than rushing around like a headless chicken, turning and sprinting around every corner. You do not want to do that. The next thing I want to talk about is to literally sit back and just focus on where you're actually aiming in game. This is gonna help you guys out tremendously. So a lot of people just run, they see someone, they panic, they shoot, they don't know where they're shooting. They might be shooting the foot, they might be shooting the hand, they might be shooting the chest. They don't know, they're just shooting, right? And it's okay to play like that, it's all right, but you gotta remember that if you're shooting a foot, it's doing half the damage practically than if you were to shoot the head or the chest or something. Now, I'm not gonna recommend shooting the head, which sounds counterintuitive because it is the one part of the body that does the most damage in game, but it's also somewhere that's really hard to consistently hit, especially if the enemy's moving, and if you have recoil or flinch or anything, you're gonna be missing a lot of shots. So what I'm gonna recommend is hitting that chest. It's the biggest part on the body. If you get recoil, if you get flinch, you're gonna automatically start shooting upwards and get those free headshots anyways. If you want to get the rarest camos like the Gold, Arclight, Tempest, or Singularity, but don't have the time to grind, MMO EXP has got you guys covered, super cheap, and someone will grind it for you. And within less than a week, you guys will have every single thing unlocked. If you guys need all those headshots, anything you want, they got you, and they have 24/7 support as well, so if you guys need any help, they got you with that as well. Use code iDoNick, you guys will save 8% off. Trust me, it's awesome. Just click the link down in the description. Another one I want to talk about is to literally focus on every single gunfight. All right, guys, this is something that happens to me a lot, and this is something that I need to really pay attention on and fix, but it's really hard. But let's say you're playing this game and you see two enemies, all right? One is facing you and one is facing away from you. If you're like me, you shoot the guy facing away from you. I don't know what it is. I think my brain tells me, yo, free kill, go and get it. That's not the case, all right? Because a lot of times when doing this, yeah, you might kill the dude facing away from you, or you might not, because the other guy looking at you might drop you before you could even do that. But now you're in a situation where you're getting shot at, you're shooting at the dude who's not shooting at you. You may or may not get the kill, but even if you do, you don't have time to readjust your accuracy and start shooting the guy that is actually shooting at you. So pay attention in every single gunfight. Try and tell yourself, if you get into situations like that, who you got to shoot first. It's these split-second decisions that are going to help you guys win a lot more gunfights in this game. I am trying to work on it. It's tough, I understand, but it is what it is. Another one, guys, do you ever get caught reloading your weapon when you shouldn't even be reloading your weapon, and you end up dying because there's nothing you could do about it? You're just stuck in the reload animation. You try to hot swap to your pistol, you can't do it, all right? This is something, again, that I have trouble with, and it's a reloading addiction. A lot of us have it. And let's say you have 40 bullets in your magazine. You kill one enemy. It took 9 bullets to drop him. You do not need to reload that gun. I do not need to reload that gun either. We do it. I don't know why. I don't know why it feels good to just have those 40 bullets in the mag rather than none, but we shouldn't be doing that. And that's something that does get a lot of people, it catches them off guard at least. They'll be reloading when they shouldn't be, and they'll end up dying. So make sure that you guys are only reloading when you absolutely have to. If you got 15 bullets or less, maybe 10 or less, even if you're really accurate, maybe if you know there's no enemies near you, even if you have 20 bullets, then you could reload because your team wiped them all or something. Sure, do that, but do not reload just for the sake of reloading. It's gonna get you dropped a lot. And the last one I want to talk about before we get into the settings here is when you're playing an OBJ mode, an objective game mode. Play around the objective rather than in it. And this is like for hardpoint, domination. It doesn't count for kill confirmed. Kill confirmed, you should be playing the objective at all times. But for hardpoint and domination, you could play it a little slower. Capture A, capture B. Let the enemies try and keep pushing B. You do not need to stand on B directly. Stand somewhere where the enemies are going to run by and not expect you to be there. This way you could drop them all as they're trying to push B really hard, then you could get a lot more kills, and then rotates positions and all that kind of stuff, right? If you're playing hardpoint and you got got a teammate in the hard point already, you do not need to be in there. The same points will be captured. It doesn't increase your points the more people that are in there, but now the enemies know that somebody's in there. They're going to be chucking grenades, stuns, everything. They're going to be throwing everything in that hard point, but if you stand outside the hard point, somewhere where the enemies will run by to try to get to it, you could, again, catch them off guard, drop them, and do what you got to do with them. So make sure that you guys are doing all those kinds of stuff as well. All right, guys, now quickly, I'm going to get into the settings, but before we do, if you guys could drop a big fat like on this video, I would truly appreciate that, man. You guys have been killing the like button lately, so I really do appreciate the love. And if you guys could leave a comment down below letting me know what your KD is in this game. I read every single comment. I want to see what the average KD is and stuff. It seems like every year I ask this question, people are getting better and better, so that's good to see. But even if you got like a KD at a 0.60, let me know and come back to this video in a month with your higher KD and gloat and be proud of yourself. All right, let's get into some settings here, because a lot of these are pretty important. And the first one I want to talk about is obviously going to be controller settings. So we're going to go into the controller here, and this is the dead zone that we're going to talk about right away, right off the rip, because it seems to be everyone's favorite to talk about. Now, left stick, this is all about movement. If you play really good on 100, I'm not going to tell you to drop it, all right? If you want to play at 100, play at 100. I personally play at 60, and if I could put it to 0, I would, but I play at 4 currently because I have stick drift. But yeah, basically, this is all your movement. It doesn't really matter. Whatever you're comfortable with, go ahead and do it. Now, the right stick at minimum and max, this is where I'm going to recommend you guys kind of follow along with what I'm doing, all right? Right stick minimum, I'm not going to recommend under 5. You go under 5, even the hairline movement that you do is going to fight against aim assist. It's not worth it. So if you put it to 5, you give yourself kind of a buffer zone, kind of a little leeway that if you do twitch your finger, or if you do accidentally move left instead of right, just a millimeter, it doesn't activate in game and your aim assist is still very strong. That's what I'm going to recommend, but you also want 100% of your stick to be utilized in gunfights. So make sure that you have it up at 100 as well. The left trigger and the right trigger, this is something that you want to turn down to 0. I don't know why the game defaults it at 13, but that just means you got to press that button 13% before it even activates. That's milliseconds of valuable time that you're going to lose in gunfights. So make sure you put it to 0 so that it ends up being 0 milliseconds itself. Now, we're going to go into the aiming tab, and this is something that I feel needs to be spoken about because this game is different to Black Ops 6, all right, when it comes to aiming. So we're going to go to aiming advanced settings, and I'm going to recommend gradual. I always will, unless you're the best player and you can just beam people, go to instant. But if you're an average player, above average, or even below average, doesn't matter, play on gradual. That's going to be really nice for you, and that's going to help you guys out a lot. Now, aim response curve type. This is something people talk about a lot. There's 2 that you could use in this game. I'm not ever going to recommend linear. I'm going to recommend standard, and I'm going to recommend dynamic. Now, this number is going to change on my recommendation. If you're playing on standard, you want to play at a 1.00. This is really solid. This is good. This is what you want to use. If you're playing dynamic, which seems to be pretty good in this game as well, you could play dynamic, but I would bring it down to 0.80. And what this does is it brings it's pretty much 80% dynamic. I'm not sure how to explain this in any easier way. It's 80% dynamic, 20% standard is basically what it's going to be. The lower to 0 you go with this number here, the closer you get to the actual standard aim response curve type. And the game is designed around standard, so it's good to go to. Now, I'm gonna leave mine here. I'm going to test this out as well. Might as well just leave it. But I'm going to recommend standard or dynamic 0.80. I haven't played 0.80 or dynamic too much in this game, but I've done it recently and I do like it, so I'm going to continue trying it out. Now, custom sensitivity per zoom. This I have on, but I only have it up to a 3x scope. I don't really snipe, I don't really do none of that, so I don't really mess with these right here. But I can tell you right now, for low zoom all the way to 3x, 0.95 is solid. It might be a little slow for some of you guys at close range, but if you're hip firing at hip fire distance, you don't have to worry about it, all right, guys? So that's going to be really nice for you right there, and it's going to help you guys remain really, really accurate. Now, there's a few things that I need to talk about in the graphic settings, all right? This is going to help you guys out a lot. Now, let's go to let's just go into I was going to go to a private match, but let's just go here into the firing range. I want to show you guys something, all right? This is my field of view, and we're going to change a few things up. So when I ADS, it brings in the soldiers on my screen. It brings them in nice and big, all right? I'm really good at this game. I would like to say I have almost a 2.0 KD. Actually, can I even show you guys that? Let me show you guys that before we do all this, just so you guys can see that I'm not lying. I have like a 1.80 at the moment while camo grinding. So 1.80, I'm at a 2.03 in Prestige 2 and a 1.88 in Prestige 1. So I'm pretty fairly decent, I would say, at this game, right? And a lot of times people say that the settings that I'm using here is if you're really bad at the game. And I'll admit, yeah, it's not if you're good, all right? If I'm going to show you guys something right now, it's not if you're a really good player. But right here, when you bring this in, it helps out a lot. It brings that character into your screen a lot bigger, and it makes him a lot easier to hit. So I'm going to recommend doing that if you have trouble hitting the enemy. All right, actually, I don't know why I'm in controller. We're going to go over to graphics. We're going to go over to view, and this is the field of view right here. We're going to go to independent. If you set it to affected, well, now when you ADS, that soldier is still small. He doesn't really come in much. He's still really tiny, and it's going to be harder to hit at longer distances. If you put it to independent rather than affected, once you actually ADS, it's going to bring them in really nice and big, and it's going to be easier for you to see your shots. It's not going to bring recoil down or anything. It's not going to change any of that, but it is going to make it a lot easier for you to see your shots. Another one that we could quickly talk about, because I'm just going to put it, I'm going to try affected. I haven't played it for a while, but I'm going to try it. Another one we could talk about is the world motion blur and all that kind of stuff. You want to turn this off, and then the weapon field of view. You could put it to narrow, which brings it smaller on your screen, so you can see a little bit more of your screen as well. It doesn't change too much, but we're gonna play on default at the moment. Your gun does seem bigger when playing on default, but it's not too much of a difference. In the past, I would have said, oh, you definitely want to play narrow, but honestly, it's not too much of a difference. If you're good, you're good. And I play on a 110 field of view. If you guys want to copy that, you go ahead and do so. But a field of view, again, this is something that I say you kind of want to just figure this out for yourself. If you like playing high, play high. If you like playing low, play low. This is not something that I'm ever going to recommend you copy me on, but if you want to, this is what I actually play on, so you could go ahead and do so for yourselves as well. And that's basically going to be it. My render resolution, I play at 100. I don't see a point to going higher, and yeah, that's my settings. If I helped you guys out at all within this video, make sure to drop a big fat like, and like I said, if you guys could leave a comment down below letting me know your KD, I'm going to read every single one of them. I'm going to reply to a few of you guys as well, so don't worry about that. Thank you guys for watching. My name is Nick, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.